right, Triple B, today we are focusing on shoulders in terms of both stability and strength, and that portion, stability and strength, carry us through most of the practice, and then also mobility and a little bit of flexibility. I see those two things as different. Mobility and flexibility. We do need a light pair of weights if you have them for just one of the sets of exercises today, but a lot of body weight work. Let's get started. Thanks for being here. Set your hands along your legs and sit up tall through your spine. Take a moment to close your eyes, turn your gaze inward. Bring your focus and your attention to your breath. Our November mantra, my energy creates my reality. A reminder to put your mind, put your body into the points of focus that you want to see. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times here. And then forward as well. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. As you shrug the shoulders up, try to sit a little bit taller through each side of the waistline. Keeping the length from the hips to the shoulders, relax the tops of the shoulders down. Tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. And then lift the head, left ear to the left shoulder. And lift. One more time, right ear to right shoulder. And lift, left ear to left shoulder. Lift the head. Gently open the eyes. Okay, take your arms straight out in front of you. And then kind of like a cat back, round the back. So pull away as you keep extending the hands out in front. And then the opposite, lift up to neutral and squeeze the tips of the shoulder blades in towards each other so your hands come closer to you. And we just do that one more time. Nice and slow, round the back. Curl in your seat. And then find neutral and pull the tips of the shoulder blades in. If you lift the arms up here, it should be harder. And then release the arms and do come over to all fours. And we keep doing that same sort of thing. So it's cow. But just noticing the flossing, if you will, of the shoulder blades. As you do cat, the shoulder blades themselves move away from one another. Come through neutral. And then squeeze in the shoulder blades as you go into cow pose. Pull the chest forward, eyes and tailbone up. And you kind of smooth it out, just back and forth. Then change to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. And I chose to work with the shoulders today because it comes up a lot in the Yoga Hour 1 sequence that we've been practicing throughout the month. Pedal your feet back and forth. Specifically in our Yoga Hour sequences, there's always 2 to 3 arm balances. And so we need that strengthening and knowledge of how the shoulder is moving to safely do arm balances. Okay, if you're pedaling the feet in down dog, ball, settle in. Look forward to the hands and step the right foot up to a low lunge. So all the way up there. Take the right hand up to the sky. Revolved lunge. And then lower the hand down, step all the way back. Second side, step the left foot forward. And take the left hand up. Lower the left hand, step all the way back. And then nice bend in the knees and walk your hands backwards to the feet. Nice and slow, roll up to standing. And again, shoulders up and back a couple of times. And forward and down. We'll get into our sun salutations for the practice here. Lift the arms all the way up. Exhale and fold over. Walk it out to downward facing dog. And then shift the shoulders over the wrist for plank pose. Pause here for an extra moment. And really do pause at the shoulders over the wrist, not beyond. As you look at your hands, spread all 10 fingers really wide and try to claw or grip the earth underneath the finger pads. All of these things help to give us some stability in the shoulder joint. And then right knee in and back, left knee in and back. So it's those mountain climbers, nice and slow, right and left. Step the right foot and left foot up behind the hands. And then back. Go back to downward facing dog. And walk the hands to the feet. I forgot one piece of that pie. We'll add it in next time. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand all the way up, reach the arms to the sky, and then go right back down to your toes. Walk it to your plank. 4 mountain climbers. Then dog pose to take the right hand to the left ankle, little twist underneath. Set the right hand down, lift up the left hand, reach to the right side, little twist underneath. Place the hand down. Either step or jump, feet forward and back. If you're jumping, do it twice. And walk the hands in. Stand up. Exhale, forward fold, back down. Walking the hands forward, all of this is like super warm up in the shoulders here, getting agility, that mobility. Come over to your plank pose, 4 running mans, knees in. Go to the reach, right hand to the left side, and down. Try to keep the hand that's on the ground, that same shoulder needs to stay as if it's moving forward when you do those reach unders. Step or jump for your squat. And then walk the hands to the feet. Come up halfway. Fold all the way over. Stand all the way up. And one more time today, fold over. Walk forward, plank pose, right knee, left knee, right knee, left knee. Down dog. Add the twist underneath. Keep the stability in the hand, arm, shoulder that's still on the ground. Add your step or your jump, squat, and walk the hands back. Lift all the way up to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. Give yourself a few breaths here, noticing already the heat, the connection of energy that comes into the body, into the mind, with just the warm-up of the practice. And then everything can give it a little bit of a shake. Okay, we're gonna get right into the first set that needs the dumbbells. I'm using 5-pound weights. I'd recommend 2, 3, 5, or 8, something along those lines. Anything you can hold on to that's even in both hands. This can also be done with body weight. We're gonna stand much like you do in mountain pose. Have your feet about hip distance apart and a little bend behind the knees. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears and then release them down. Remember that you want them in a down position here. And just nice and slow, we're lifting the weights straight out to the side, about in line with our shoulders, and hold it there. And I want you to be able to see the weights in your peripheral vision. So we don't want them all the way to the T, just a little bit forward of the shoulder. Good, lower it down. Okay, and then we'll go a little quicker here. Up for 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, lower, 2, 3, 4. One more time at that pace and lower, and then cut the pace in half, and we'll do 5 more. So 1, 2, down, 1, 2, up for 2, and down for 2. Little tiny bend in the elbows, little tiny bend behind your knees. Stay connected and strong in the core. Belly button back towards the spine the whole time. I think we've got one more here. Up and down. And you'll notice that even without the weights, just the repetition of the work, our arms themselves weigh something. So we've got a curl, and then we're going into an overhead press here. Take the arms out like goddess or goalpost and press straight up. Come back down, curl to chest, and all the way lower down. Okay, so we go up, 2, out, and up, down and in, and then down for 2. Bicep curl, and then the overhead press. That's it. Think about how and where your shoulders are moving. They have to rotate open, press up, in and down. Let's do 5 more here. 1, overhead press. Don't let the body swing at all. Keep the elbows locked into the sides as you move through the bicep curl. And 2 more. Good. Curl elbows, stay into the sides. Full press up, arms as straight as they'll go. Okay, we're gonna add these 2 things together. So you do 1 lift out to the side, and then straight down, and then go into the overhead press. Curl and press. Lift out to the side, strength, and down, and curl. Mobility. We've got 2 more like this. Open straight out to the side. Notice your posture as we continue. Overhead press. And one last one. Out and down. And Arnold breaths here. Good. Set the weights down. We'll come back to that combination, but that is the only combination where we're using weights. Next is a plank series. Come down into regular old plank pose. Have the hands outer shoulder distance apart. And then take the feet as wide as your hips as well, about as wide as your yoga mat. Pull the heels a little forward so they're over your toes. Side plank, open the right hand to the sky. And the whole purpose of this is going to be moving with it. Place the right hand down. Go to the left side, left arm up. So both feet stay on the ground and you just dip the hips a little bit from side to side as you move. When I first started practicing yoga, everything was super static in the poses. We've added in, over the 20 years I've been doing this, a whole lot more movement. And I think it's made yoga itself a lot more sustainable in terms of the asana, the actual postures. We're still here side to side. I'm just talking so that everybody finds their own rhythm. Go one more time, right hand high and left hand high. We've got to be able to set things down, pick things up. Go back to your full plank pose. This is a slow shift. Shoulders more forward than the wrist so that you get that wrist flexion. And then back, shoulders right over the wrist. Shoulders forward and back. This can be done on the toes or on the knees. Forward and back. Keep the arms looking as straight as possible here. If you tend to hyperextend in your joints and your elbows, it should feel like you have a little bit of a bend, but mostly a straight arm. Do it one more time. Shoulders a little forward and back. Lower the knees down. Push back into child's pose. And then make your way all the way up to standing. So lift your torso and then just stand all the way up. Have your feet again hip distance apart. Bend your knees, sit into the thighs, and extend your arms straight out in front of you. Utkatasana, chair pose. Good. So I want you to remember this work in the legs, this low seat and chair pose, belly button back towards the spine. Try to lift your arms 2 inches higher up. Where is that? Ask. Squeeze in the tips of the shoulder blades, broaden at the top of the chest, and then stand all the way up and lower the arms. Okay, I'm calling this one flying chair pose. So we're going to be coming in and out of that chair sit each and every time. Get a little work in the legs. And here's the arms. Everybody just take your arms straight out to the side. And then turn the palms so they face up towards the sky. And imagine that the top of your shoulders is broad and going away from each other, but the tips of the shoulder blades here is where they squeeze in and try to connect. So we just do that little hug in. And with the hug in, keep it and take the arms all the way up. And take your chair pose. We stand up, the arms come down, rotate, and lower. So it is not quick, and it's so we see each and every incremental change. Lift the arms up, turn the palms, squeeze. Arms overhead as you sit. Stand right back up. Arms open, palms turned down and lower. We'll do it a few times here. Arms up, turn, squeeze in, overhead, and sit. Stand up, open, rotate, and lower. Again, inhale, lift, rotate, sit, and overhead. Stand up, rotate down, and lower. Twice more. Lift the arms. Stay engaged, strong in the core. Rotate the palms. Sit. Stand up, rotate down, and lower. Amazing how heavy these arms get, right? Lift, rotate, squeeze, overhead as you sit. And come open, rotate down, and lower. Give it a little bit of a shake. Okay? Take the arms out in front of you, cross at the wrist, lean away, cat back. Little stretch in there. Okay, and then the last part of this series, take the feet wide. We're going for triangle pose. Turn the right foot out, the left foot straight ahead, and extend the arms out. Okay, you'll need to be able to see just to get this going. Reach all the way over to your right side with the right fingertips where they can touch the ground or your leg or a yoga block, but like you can have some engagement on that bottom arm. And then top arm straight up to the sky. So here's what's happening. We're staying in triangle pose, but moving through the arms. Be on your bottom fingertips, and then can you go flat down to the palm? Pop back up to the fingertips, and now the top arm is changing. Take the top arm so that it is in line with your chest and shoulder. Like you've grabbed hold of something that you want to bring to you. Squeeze the top shoulder more onto your back. And then lift the arm again. As you go to a flat palm, can you lift the top hand higher? So bottom hand, flat palm, but at the same time, you're trying to reach through the top hand. Pop up to the fingertips on the bottom hand, whether it's on your leg or the ground. Take the top arm straight in front of you in line with your shoulder. Again, do that grab hold and then lift the arm up. It's that same squeeze of the shoulder blade that we've been working with. Let go of the squeeze, extend the top arm higher as you go to a flat bottom hand. So they're working opposing actions. Take the top arm forward. Pull back, overhead. Let's stand it all the way up and trade your toes. Take the hands down for a moment. So I know it's a little confusing. There's two different things happening and they're both a little bit subtle. That bottom hand, if we think fingertips to flat palm, fingertips to flat palm. Every time the palm is flat, that bottom hand, bottom shoulder is a little more integrated in the body. And at the same time, I'm asking you to try to extend and reach out through the top shoulder. So if both hands were forward, it's like one's trying to come back and one is trying to go forward. That's what's kind of happening there. Okay, let's see what happens. Don't worry about it too much. Extend the arms out. Go to the second side. Triangle pose. And really care less about the bottom hand and more about the top hand through this whole exercise. Bottom hand just goes up to fingertips, down to the palm,
up to fingertips, down to the palms, getting us into the ability will stay strengthened. Okay, and then it's just worried about
the top hand. Bring the top arm straight to the line of your shoulder. Grab
and squeeze in, and then try to lift it back up towards the sky.
Extend out. Top arm, shoulder height. Grab and squeeze in, and then up to the sky, holding on to it. Extend out. Now, extend out might not feel a lot different. It's the action or the energy of pulling in, trying to keep the squeeze, and then the energy of trying to push out. Do it one more time. Shoulder height, pull in, keep hold as the arm goes up. Okay, I think that's good. Way up. Turn the feet parallel to one another. Just heel toe, heel toe. Give it a little shake. Okay, we did 6 exercises there. We're going to do all 6 of those one more time. Now we've seen them, and so we'll do them through a little bit more of a continuous loop. It's just what you wanted, right? So we have the weights and our feet in mountain pose. Shoulder raises are first, perhaps the most important of all of this, no matter what light, heavier weight you're holding on to. Lift and lower. Again, we want the weights mostly straight out to the side, but a little bit forward so that you can see in your peripheral vision. That gives the shoulders a little more integrity, a little bend in the elbows as you lift and lower. We've got 5 more here. Lift and lower. Make sure you're standing steady in the body, not swinging the arms. It's a lift up and down. I think 2 more by my count. Up and down and up and down. Go to the curl, bicep curl, overhead press. Back into the curl and lower down. Bicep curl, overhead press, in and down. Good, keep going. Curl,
And press,
in and down. Full extension, so go all the way
straight at the top.
as you come down. Arms go all the way out. Good. One more time here. And in and down, and then we'll do the combo set. If you start to feel fatigued, you can split your stance, 1 foot more forward than the other, a little more bend in the knees. We've got 4 sets together. Lift up and down, curl to press, and in and down. Lift out to the side, stop at the height of the shoulders, no higher. Press. Don't be in a rush here. Little time under tension. Curl and press. Last one. Out to the side. Stop at the shoulder height and lower and overhead press. Set your weights down carefully. Come into plank pose and meet me there. I'll count us off a little more than I did the first set. Take the right arm high and lower down. Take the left arm high and lower down. So it's up for 2, down for 2, up for 2, down for 2. Give me 4 more, 2 more to each side, up and down, up and down. Keep the hips lifted as we move through the side plank. You don't want them dipping down, they're just dipping to the sides. And stay in your full plank. Here's the rock. Shoulders a little forward of the wrist and back. When we do crane pose, crow pose, the end goal is actually shoulders more forward than the wrist. So we've got to get our hands healthy, using the strength in the fingers also. Little rocks forward and back. One more time, rock forward, back, set the knees down, push back into child's pose. Give yourself 3 long breaths here in child's pose. Nice, awesome stretch in the shoulders and upper body here. And then make your way back up to standing. And we'll see that chair pose and triangle set one more time. From your standing position, lift the arms out to the side, rotate the palms up, sit into chair pose as you bring your arms more overhead. Stand up, rotate the palms down and lower. We're doing this just 2 times, arms out to the side, palms rotate up, chair pose. Stand back up, rotate palms down and lower. Take a wide stance, extend the arms out in either direction. Turn your right toes out and go to triangle pose. Try to stay on bottom fingertips rather than the flat palm. And let's do the top arm. Top arm comes shoulder height. Grab hold of what you want, pull it into you. Keep that pull in and extend the arm straight up towards the sky. Stay here, breathe here. We'll use the static version of the pose. And then from your feet, press down and out to come all the way back up to standing. Rotate on the feet. Go the second side, reach as far as you can. Left fingertips down and go again. Fingertips rather than the flat palm. Top arm to the sky. And then take the arm down to shoulder height. Hold on to what you want, pull it into you. And then keep that pull in and extend the arm back up towards the sky. Think head long towards your front toes. Nicely done. Stand all the way up. Turn your toes parallel to one another. Wide-legged forward fold. Take the hands to the knees. Take a nice bend in the knees as you turn the toes out. Lift your chest a little bit and then just kind of work it in. Shoulders side to side. You can go straighter arms on your legs or stay lower in the elbows to make that more gentle. Roll it all the way up, stand all the way up, and bring the feet into one another. Okay, I think it was last week that I did sort of a funky push-up from downward facing dog into our crane or crow pose. I'm bringing that in here. Watch first because your head will be down. So this is the last big ask in terms of the strength and agility in the shoulders. So we're in downward facing dog. We're going to walk about halfway in, bend the knees, and then bend the elbows. It's a half push-up there. And you're straightening, you're bending, letting the knees set close to or onto the upper arm bones and straightening. Go bend down and straighten. It looks fun, right? Let's do it together. Full downward facing dog. So take your full downward facing dog and then walk your feet in about halfway so that your knees have to bend unless you have incredible stretchy hamstrings. Keep the arms straight in the beginning And then bend the elbows and try to take the knees more forward. Straighten the arms, and you'll get to know, like, how far do I need to walk in for this? Bend the elbows, try to set the knees to the upper arm bones, and then straighten. Do about 5 to 6 of these in your own time. Push and straighten. And then we get to know that although we did a lot of focus on the shoulders and upper body today, really when we start talking about these arm balances, there's a lot to do with the hips as well. You got one more. And then walk it out to your full downward facing dog. Drop to your knees. Twisted child's pose. Take your right arm under the left side. Set the shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the ground. And take your left arm out in front of you. Bring the left hand beside your face. Use it to help you come all the way up. Twisted child's pose on the second side. Arm goes underneath, shoulder, ear, side of the face. Seat can stay lifted here. Stretch the other arm straight out in front. We've done enough overhead. Just straight out. Come back to all fours. So 60 seconds here. I'd like you to choose between doing 60 seconds of cat and cow or giving your best shot from that little crouch of your half push-up into 60 seconds of crane and crow pose. I'll walk us through a little bit of this crane and crow. As you do the push-up forward, try taking one foot up and down. Keep the knees connected to the upper arm bones the whole time. And then as you start shifting weight forward and back, can both feet go up? And it's still a little bit of a swing forward and back. Until you try to maintain that pull forward. You'll notice it's the shoulders past the wrist. That's that flexion in the wrist that we've worked on. Don't let the weight sit into the back of the wrist. You've got to grip the earth underneath the fingers. Drop back to cat and cow at any point. 10 more seconds here. And then everyone flat down onto your mat. Lay all the way down to your belly. Can you clear the space so that you can take your arms out to a T shape? I've got to clear my space a little bit. So arms straight out to a T. I know that might be harder in the space you're working with if you can at least get one arm straight. And then take your left hand close to your shoulder and roll towards your right side. Keep your head down on the floor. Step your left foot kind of back behind you to get into a shoulder stretch on that bottom right arm. If stepping back is too intense, just take that leg out along the other leg. And then come across the center. Stretch the other arm out. Bring the right hand close into the line of your shoulder and roll towards the left side. Head can stay down here. If it works, the right foot steps all the way back. And then come back into the middle. Sphinx pose. Set your forearms under the line of the shoulders. Press down through the forearms. Lift the chest. This practice of movement, the practice of yoga, always focused on how we can more easily move and be in our bodies. A little bit of resistance training, especially as we age, super helpful for keeping the movement actually flowing more. All right, change to cobra. Place the hands under the shoulders and lift up a little taller here. Lower it all the way down. Flip over onto your back. Pull the knees into the chest. Give it a good squeeze. And then any last unwinding motion that you would like. Maybe happy baby, maybe a little more twist. From that unwinding, go to your position for stillness, a seat of meditation, or stay lying back for Shavasana. Give yourself this reward, this time. Body and brain thank us for giving the rest to integrate the work and the knowledge.
And for those long backs, stretch the arms overhead, get as long as you can now from fingertips to toes. If you're sitting up, you can just reach the arms to the sky in the same way.
And then everyone take your time to come back to a seated position. Let your eye gaze be low or keep the eyes closed. Bring the palms together. We can do one last little bit of work. Be just on the fingertips connected. Elbows broad out to the side. And then push the palms flat into one another. Come back out to the fingertips. Notice how the whole upper torso just slightly changes its conditioning between the two phases, fingertips and palms. And then have just a little bit of air and space in between the palms, like you can breathe and blow through. Bow in, chin to chest. So much gratitude for yourself, each other, this practice. Let's close through the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And again, breathe in. Om. Namaste.